Thank you for your interest in being a volunteer vacations crew leader with American Hiking Society. This orientation is intended to give you a more comprehensive understanding of the role and responsibilities of being a crew leader for our trail stewardship program, Volunteer Vacations, and the steps required to get you out on the trail leading the next generation of trail stewards. Today we will go over American Hiking Society's Volunteer Vacations, the benefits associated with being a crew leader, the requirements to be a crew leader, the main roles and responsibilities of our crew leaders, the responsibilities of our host organizations, the training and resources that we provide to all of our crew leaders, and the next steps if you're interested in becoming a 2016 crew leader. I want to reiterate the mission statement of American Hiking Society to kick things off. As the national voice for America's hikers, American Hiking Society promotes and protects foot trails and the hiking experience. The organization focuses on three main pillars. They include policy and advocacy, education and outreach, and volunteerism and stewardship. This includes National Trails Day, National Trails Fund, and of course, volunteer vacations and alternative break, which we'll talk about in more detail today. Volunteer vacations are a series of trail building projects on America's public lands. Each of our trail crews consists of 6 to 15 volunteers, accompanied by a crew leader. Trips involve backpacking or day hiking, and accommodations can vary from primitive campsites to bunkhouses or cabins. Our trips are hosted by federal agency land managers, including the Bureau of Land Management, National Park Service, the Forest Service, Fish and Wildlife Service, as well as state parks and trail organizations all across the country. In 2016, we are organizing more than 60 volunteer vacations and more than 15 alternative break trips. Alternative breaks are volunteer vacations that focus specifically on college student groups. As an organization, we are not able to be on the ground for each of these trips, so we do rely on crew leaders for additional communication, meal planning, and logistical support. We view our crew leaders as really vital liaisons between our volunteer vacation hosts, American Hiking Society, and of course our volunteers. There are a variety of benefits to being a crew leader with American Hiking Society. First and foremost, you'll gain paramount leadership experience. You'll be provided with training materials and resources. You'll receive goodies and industry gear and other perks. The registration fees will be waived for all trips that you are a crew leader on. And you'll have the first viewing of trips in the project calendar before the rest of the public sees them. You'll have the opportunity to see new areas of the country, and of course, the lifelong friendships and memories that you can make on the trips that you lead. The requirements for being a crew leader with American Hiking Society are that you do need to be an American Hiking Society member. You need to have participated on a previous volunteer vacation with us or had similar experiences to our volunteer vacations program. We look for crew leaders that have a basic knowledge of trail maintenance and building techniques, but we do want to point out that expertise in this is not required. All crew leaders do need to agree to comply with established AHS ethics, practices, and the crew leader guidelines. You need to have organizational skills, as well as be a flexible team player. Things that we look for as a benefit but aren't necessarily required include certifications such as first aid or CPR, and the ability to lead multiple trips in 1 year. The main responsibilities of being a crew leader with American Hiking Society include pre-trip communication, meal and camp logistics, orientation, social leadership of the crew, as well as following up at the completion of your trip. Pre-trip communication includes communicating with American Hiking regarding trip logistics and volunteer participants, communicating with the host to finalize trip logistics, project specifics, and accommodations, communicating with volunteers to clarify trip details, plan menus, and organize travel itineraries. Meal and camp logistics includes menu planning based on volunteers' dietary restrictions, communicating with the host regarding supplies, cooking gear, and the facilities. It involves purchasing the food and any required cooking gear, and organizing and assigning kitchen and camp duties, and then reconciling the food expenses as needed. Regarding orientation, we look to our crew leaders to welcome the group upon arrival and assist with orientation of the group with the host. Our crew leaders work with the host to organize the daily work schedule and work teams, and communicate with the host regarding a free day or any outings outside of the work project. We look to our crew leaders to manage the social leadership of the crew, including boosting morale and encouraging volunteers to participate in any conflict resolution between crew members or the crew and host as needed, and of course to represent AHS and its mission. At the completion of the trip, we look for our crew leaders to follow up with the host, the crew, as well as American Hiking to give us feedback about the project itself, provide any photos and testimonials from the week. To clarify, the host organization is responsible for a number of things during the week as well as leading up to the trip and after the trip. Hosts are responsible for pre-trip planning and communications, and more specifically, they're required to request the crew, come up with a project as well as the design of it, and communicate with the crew leader and with American Hiking prior to the trip. Hosts are responsible for a variety of logistics issues involving the trip, including travel, whether that be an airport pickup or during the week, getting the volunteers to the project site. Hosts are responsible for providing any group cooking supplies, as well as making arrangements for accommodations, whether that be in a cabin or designating and reserving an appropriate campsite. Our hosts are responsible for the technical leadership during the project, supervision of the volunteers during the project, as well as providing all tool and safety equipment. At the completion of the trip, we look to our hosts to provide us with accomplishments and project results. American Hiking will provide all crew leaders with a variety of different training and resources. This includes a crew leader guide, a meal planning guide, including sample menus and shopping lists, online crew leader training, detailed information about your crew and project, and communication and guidance leading up to your project. We'll also provide all crew leaders with a first aid kit. If you're interested in being a crew leader with American Hiking Society, we ask that you visit our website at americanhiking.org, where you'll find more information as well as the crew leader application. Please fill out the crew leader application, and you will receive confirmation that we've received your application upon submittal. If your qualifications and background align with our crew leader needs, you'll be contacted for a phone interview. If we confirm your position as crew leader for a trip, you'll be asked to sign a crew leader agreement and participate in training. If there are currently no trips that are available, or there's not a trip that we feel you're suitable to lead, we will keep your application on file for the future. To begin the crew leader process, we might have you shadow an experienced crew leader on an upcoming trip. If you have any further questions or want more details about the program, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact Libby Weil at lwile@americanhiking.org or call us at 1-800-972-8608, extension 704. Thanks again for your interest in being a crew leader with American Hiking Society.